had the idea of basically doing like anime for your mom and dad.
Mm-hmm.
What was the premise of like quotations that you could show mom and dad?
Without them beating the shit out of you?
Yeah.
Like, oh, our child's a degenerate. Or, oh, that's weird. Don't watch that.
And then I was like, okay. Then I tried to like make it a little more accessible, and then Johnny made it more accessible, and then we ended up with anime for all ages.
Welcome back to Anime Casuals. I'm Lucky.
Here I go! This hand of mine is burning red!
And I'm Michael. Realize the only ones who should kill are those who are prepared to be killed.
Johnny.
Your darkness swallowed up my son? Who decided that?
Erupting! Burning!
Now all of you.
Die.
Hey, what's happening, everybody? Welcome back to Anime Casuals. I am Lucky.
I am the one they call sitting next to Johnny.
I'm Johnny.
And I'm Michael.
Wow, bro. And we make up Anime Casuals. You gotta roll with it, man. You gotta keep going with it. You can't just go back to it, man. He's on my groove. I apologize, sir. Seems as if you've thrown off the Emperor's groove. Oh man, dude. Sorry, there was somebody that I just saw in a freaking anime, and it reminded me of Emperor Cusco. But anyway, speaking of anime, we are the Anime Casuals. Welcome back to the casual discussion. Today we will be talking about anime for all ages. Take that however you want, because that's what we're gonna do with it. And yeah, this is, I think one of the problems that anime has is it's hard to tell who the appropriate age group, it's like what demographic it is targeted towards. So we're gonna try and give this our best shot, so that maybe some of you guys with family members that want to watch it, or like you're a younger kid and you have a like a parental unit that you want to watch anime with, or you don't want them coming in and being like, "What the fuck are you watching?" and just slamming your face into the pavement or something like that. I mean,
not
I
our videos.
Yeah, not our videos. That's for damn sure. So they better not, or else we'll do something. I don't know what we'll do. But anyway, actually, I don't know who to ask to go first on this one, because I feel like both you and Johnny were concocting this one. Michael, so when do you guys want to go first?
I don't know. Johnny can go first, but I wanted to caveat that also with what you said, Lucky. Also, sometimes the certain version of an anime you watch is not appropriate for all ages. Here's a perfect one. One of my favorite anime, Code Geass, is mostly appropriate for in a family. It probably skews more older teen. And then there's certain versions of the anime that's not appropriate for anybody but 18 plus. There's a certain table and a certain lady, and she gets familiar with this table and the corner of the table, and that makes it really not appropriate for a lot of kids. So it's really important that you also watch out what version of these animes you're watching with censorship and all that.
Home video, uncensored.
yeah. It's weird. This is the uncensored version. Interesting.
Wait. So was that your first one?
No,
Okay,
you can go ahead. I use that as a just watch out, because some versions of the anime like are cut differently.
The first one I'm actually going to talk about, and this is anime, really not heavy on fan service or fighting or violence. I mean, that's up to you, but this is just kind of the idea I went with. First one I'm going to talk about is Keep Your Hands Off Ice Again.
Nice.
I thought that was an interesting one because it shows people dealing with interesting problems. Trying to get a budget and supply their club with money, because they have nothing. And it also centers around school and the animation aspect. So I don't know. I just think it has a potential to be a good anime for people to be able to watch and not really necessarily have to worry about the subject matter. So yeah, Keep Your Hands Off Isaacin. Awesome animation. I'd check it out if you haven't already. So,
and it deals with actual real world problems that kids might have to come up with one day. Budgeting was really important.
Oh man, yeah, I kind of fell off that one, but yeah, it definitely seemed like it would be it would be something that you can kind of show your kid, and it still have a lot of the real world applications, but in like a fun little box to check it out
Yeah.
with, and that kind of gets me into my next one, and this one I think was just really fun overall. Which is Love Chunibyo and Other Delusions. I just really enjoyed. I enjoyed a lot of aspects of it, but for young kids, it can for me, right? I used to play in my backyard, and imagine I was like not Tuxedo Mask, but I was like the Chad version of Tuxedo Mask. So like Usagi or Sailor Moon left Tuxedo Mask for me. And one of the problems that can happen when your imagination is that active, if it keeps being that active, is you kind of go off into your own world. And I think Love Chunibyo and Other Delusions does a really good job of showing you like the dangers of getting too far into that, but also showing it in such a way that it still is very. I mean, it's very funny. It's a very funny show, but it also brings up that subject matter of, hey, there's a time and a place for your or for your imagination to take place, but there's also real world things that you have to do, and not everybody is comfortable with those types of things. But and it's also a good story of somebody finding out who they really are, and also there's some other reasons why she is a Chunibyo and things that she has to accept in her life and things that she has to get over. So it also teaches a lot about loss and certain things that I think other like cartoons and other things can kind of help you with. But I mean, when I was watching SpongeBob SquarePants, the only thing that ever taught me like about loss was when Gary went out and like they did the Gary Come Home song. But besides that, there's nothing that's gonna show you what to do when you lose a family member,
Yeah.
right? So yeah, Love Chunibyo and Other Delusions, really good anime, and also very enjoyable for the adults in the room as well.
That's interesting, Lucky, that we're all talking about things that kind of have real world stories, because mine is also in that realm, but also comes with like, I guess, like my first red flag for like what anime, like what to watch out for in anime that makes it not so appropriate to recommend to everybody. Um, as in Studio Ghibli movies, like sometimes there's nudity in anime, right? And in my anime, there is nudity, but it's not sexualized, and it's not. It's very light because these girls go into a hot springs at some point, but it's to relax. And they talk about relaxing, and it's not be like, oh, look at their titties and stuff like that. So
You are now.
you know what? Stop it. And so Laid Back Camp is an amazing anime all about these. I think they're freshman, sophomore girls in high school who basically love camping or the idea of camping, and they want to learn more about all the equipment, all the techniques, how to cook out in the middle of the wilderness, and more camping locations that are very we'll say wallet friendly, and basically how to get by and how to be a camper while not being too extreme about it, being casuals like us. It can almost be called casual camping. Hey. So there is a couple moments in there where they talk about how much things cost, how to do it solo, and really what it takes to be a camper. But all in all, it's a very family friendly show. I would recommend it to anybody and everybody, just for them to watch a relaxing anime.
It's super practical.
It is.
That's super realistic. I mean, it's just camping, but yeah. So my next one is Laid Back Camp. No, I did have that, but I won't be saying it now. This one's kind of a cheat because I wanted to say at first any sports anime, but I don't think I can say that. I'm sure there's some sports anime that go a little too far in some direction. So I'm gonna say most sports anime. I mean, I caught glimpses of I actually don't remember it now, the basketball anime that you were watching for a while. I don't know.
Kudokos?
Yeah, there you go. That seemed like one that was pretty. It's just about basketball. Haikyuu is another one that is also just really easy. It's just volleyball. I mean, worst case scenario, they go outside and they try what they see, and then they become a volleyball or basketball star.
Yeah, Kudokos is basically the basketball Haikyuu.
So, yeah, I thought a lot of the sports anime were a pretty decent choice, as well as you can kind of sort of learn what people are doing and kind of take some of that. I mean, not with everything, obviously, but yeah.
Nice. Dude, I really wanted to put Kenichi the Mightiest Disciple on there, but there's a fair amount of titties in there, and yeah, it kind of sucks. I'm like, damn, that's such a good, because I really wanted to recommend like a martial arts anime on here, but I'm not recommending Baki. I'm not recommending Hajime no Ippo because of a couple of things. I
Baki's
can't,
not good.
it's just like, damn it, dude. There's nothing, because I really, I'd like to like include like martial arts just for like, especially like some of the young men and stuff. There are some out there, obviously, like Dragon Ball Z got a lot of people into martial arts and stuff, and I wouldn't recommend anybody away from Dragon Ball Z, but there are some aspects of that maybe wouldn't be that great for some kids, especially nowadays.
Got a high
Um,
school sorted there.
yeah, it goes kind of crazy, dude. Especially that.
It does,
Yeah,
yeah.
there's some parts. But anyway, I wanted to get into one that this kind of has a little bit of a caveat, is it gets crazier as it goes on, so it might be something that you grow with as the kid grows older or something like that, which is Naruto. I think the Naruto, especially in the very beginning, up to maybe like the beginning of the Chunin arc, is very like okay for kids, and then Orochimaru gets involved and things start to go a little crazy, and then the Akatsuki get involved, so then things get even crazier, and it just keeps going
Yeah.
crazier and crazier. So it might be something to scale your kid up to. So maybe watching the first part of Naruto, like up to maybe like, because I think especially the Hidden Mist arc, or at the very beginning, the bridge arc, is really cool to see for a lot of kids, and it also does introduce a lot of like gangster elements, right? What's his name? Zabuza is working with the Yakuza over there, so there are certain parts of it that may not seem kids friendly, but I think also if you watch a lot of these Marvel movies now, they're not completely kid friendly, and I see kids in them all the time. I was just watching another movie where I saw a bunch of kids in there, and some guy got ripped in half. So it's like, okay, what are we talking about now? So this is where kind of like the bending of the rules happens. But I will say this: as the series goes more and more, the subject matter gets a little bit more intense. So you might, like I said, you might want to like scale your kid up with the progression of the anime, because I personally grew up with Naruto and started watching it when I was in middle school, and watched it all the way to like 2016. So that's when it ended. So that's how far along I watched it. So maybe it might be something to do for that, or maybe you just watch the first Naruto series and you say, okay, we'll watch this when you get older. So who knows? But yeah,
Yeah.
Naruto. Also, Naruto, it really showed. Maybe not the best like role model for like young women, but like for young boys, I think it's definitely a good like coming of age story for somebody that's trying to go up, because especially since it's a shonen anime. So
Be like,
Yeah.
Sakura, cut your hair.
You
That's all you need.
just got to watch out for the also the odd transformation sequences from Naruto.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but I mean that's about it besides violence. My next one is pretty educational, although bloody. So if being bloody is an issue for you, this is probably not for all ages, but 10 and above, absolutely in America. And that's Cells at Work. Cells at Work is a great educational anime that teaches you about the various parts of your body and what they do in relation to other parts. Especially you learn the scientific words for just about everything and exactly what they do in like a fun and unique way. If you liked Osmosis Jones, this is basically that in anime form. And I think it's wonderful the way they portray the way they portray the various different parts, like the way the red blood cells and the white blood cells work together, the way they can actually explain what killer T cells are and when they come into operation in your body. And a lot of that is great. And the biggest thing is how diseases work inside your body, or how cuts are fixed, is like my favorite part of it. Don't watch Cells at Work Code Black. That's very depressing. But it is good for adults, but not quite kid friendly.
No, it's not kid friendly, but it's awesome anime. So
Yeah, I think if anything, it could probably show like some. It could show like some. I think it'd be better for like teenagers, because it does help you understand the health, the health effects of certain things. Let's say I don't want to like
Mhm.
spoil too much of it. And it's a real world. It's a real world problem. So it could definitely help with that. But
Balances.
yeah, but with kids, I mean, probably you don't want to be like, hey, you're gonna learn about all this adult shit now, okay? So do it.
My next one is gonna be and admittedly, I actually haven't watched the second half of this, but it's gonna be Children of the Sea, just because I feel like based off the first season, there's a lot of good values in it, and it's also got a lot of music in there, which is not just soothing, but it's also just kind of nice to listen to, and it mixes well with the anime itself being this whole ocean theme. It does a lot of what's the word I'm trying to think of? Dealing just with like different people. I mean, because there's this whole stigma about regular humans versus these just to simplify it, fish people. So it's kind of just treating them. See, you never know. But it's them dealing with those differences and kind of intermingling and kind of working together. They're separate communities, but have to come together. So yeah, Children of the Sea. I feel like it has some good things, and I feel like I'm looking at Lucky, and he's gonna be like, no, don't ever watch that. But I don't know.
What's Children of the Sea? Is that like
I could be calling it the wrong one. It's
Lulu?
on Netflix. I thought it was Children of the Sea.
Oh, A Lull in the Sea. Is that what you're talking about?
Ah, damn it. That's it.
Okay, dude. Because I think there is one called Children of the Sea, and I was like, dude, this sounds like a lot like A Lull in the Sea. Is that
Oh
the
my
same
God, it
anime?
is.
That is crazy. That is wild.
Yeah, there is a Children of the Sea, huh?
Yeah, and
Go
then
watch that too.
then there's
No,
a Chicken
it's
of the
Children
Sea, Turkey of the Dirt. There's so many different ones.
Turkey of the Dirt.
Yeah, A Lull in the Sea. No, I'd agree with that one too. It is it if anything, it's a really good growing up story. But yeah, that was actually surprisingly good. Also, the graphics in that are just freaking
Oh,
phenomenal.
they're really pretty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The next one that I wanted to bring up was Little Witch Academia. This anime. Also, you can watch the movie if you want to like get a sense of it before you get into like the anime or anything like that. Because the movie,
It's
I
almost
thought,
too appropriate.
yeah, it's a little too appropriate, man. And I never really felt like there was any time or any moment in there that got me into like my adult brain. Okay. There's a woman in there, right? That's pretty hot, but besides that, there's nothing like too crazy.
The tripping out shroom episode, maybe, but
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
that's about it.
Yeah, and I mean, you're gonna teach those kids at some point anyway. So, yeah, no, it's just such a like feel good series, and especially for like young girls out there if they want to check that kind of stuff out. It does pretty well at all of that. I mean, I guess you could, and especially since like Harry Potter was such a big phenomenon in the world. I was about to say in America, but no, that's not true. In the world, it like captures a lot of the imagination, and it's also teaches you because one of the main chick has a like idolizes the hot woman that I just mentioned, and so she has a lot of like aspirations to be the way that this person is, but instead it's more of a accepting yourself for who you are kind of anime. So
Yeah.
it's a really good. I just felt good when I was watching it, kind of like what Michael was saying with Laid Back Camp.
Yeah.
You just feel like you feel really good when you watch it. You don't. There are some moments of tension, but it's not so much that it's like I'm gonna need a drink after this. One of those things. So I'm sober.
Yeah.
I need a drink after this. It's crazy. Isn't that wild, Jerome?
Well, speaking of female main characters, and you just reminded me, it's not on my list, but Ruby,
Oh, okay.
RWBY, arguing whether that's an anime or not, will get you nowhere. Because I'm gonna call it an anime today. It's anime inspired, and that's what that's what Monty meant it to be. So, Ruby is a cast of 4 main female characters, all of which start in school and work their way up to being professional huntresses. While like this Wizard of Oz style background is going around behind them, and basically they're fighting these things called remnants. Is that what they're called?
Grim? Is it?
Grim. There we go. That's what
Oh,
they're
okay.
called. Big shadowy monsters that are like, just bad. And on their way to be basically learning who they truly are and the history of this world. of Remnant. That's what they're in Remnant. That's the place. that
Oh
they
yeah,
live.
that's right. I forgot.
And it's really, really good. It definitely is a get better with time type of anime, as like their 7th season is way better and way budgeted up than their first season. But overall, it's one of the few anime out there that actually has good, really good leads. Like all the characters all the main characters that are in the anime you care about, not just because they're female, but because they have good character building throughout it. And the general plot line of everybody having a weapon that's also a gun is really fun. And it's incredibly appropriate. There's like almost no swearing in it. Very little blood, at least in the first like couple seasons. So it's good to get your kid to start out with.
Yeah, I would also say to that as the along with the budget, the voice acting also gets better. You have to realize a lot of these people aren't professional voice actors, although they do
work
get some
there,
of it.
yeah.
Yeah, they work there. They do get better at least by like the 4th season, but the first like maybe 2, I think 3 is when it started to like kick off a little bit more. But
Yeah.
the first 2 seasons, a little bit rough. It looks. I mean, if you want to think about anything, Death Battle would like watching the first Death Battles ever. You'd probably get a pretty good idea of when they started doing CGI. That's kind of what it looked like.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's definitely like a good investment anime. Like you invest your time into it. Watch the first 2 seasons. Also, I think. Well, actually, I don't know if they're no. Anyway, I was gonna say it used to be on Netflix at one point, and I just binge watched like the first 2, 3 seasons because it was all
still
on.
might be.
Yeah, I think the first couple seasons might be, but either way, you can check it out on Verve and Rooster Teeth. So.
Johnny,
Um,
any more from your amazing head?
I mean, this one's more of a cautionary tale, and so if anything, I guess kind of a joke.
It's already funny.
So if you really want to learn something about your family, have them watch Death Note, because you will learn some things. You're gonna really figure some things out. And
This is not kid friendly,
you know
but it
where-
is
it's
every
not,
other.
It's definitely not.
uh,
But again, you will learn some things.
Teens and adults,
and you will know
watch with your mom.
where
and dad.
your family stands in certain aspects.
Maybe it'll cause
of
your parents to get
morality.
divorced,
So, you know,
or
I'll
maybe it'll
just leave
cause
it
your
at
parents to get back together.
that. Hey, maybe.
Maybe both. Maybe
so-
both your parents agree that people should die by a book. You never know.
Hey, I mean that's religion.
I was about to say, I was like, there's another book that caused a lot of fights, but I don't want to get in trouble.
Damn. Well, we're getting canceled. Funny
Hey,
enough.
YouTube.
funny enough, I skipped church to be here today. So.
Gotta start somewhere.
Yeah, I was
You
gonna
gotta
say.
start
I was gonna
somewhere.
say you guys are cursing me right now. Anyway, you guys want to do like a little lightning round here real quick?
Yes.
We'll
Yes.
go ahead and do that. So there is, yeah, let's do this. So I have 2 romance animes, just to kind of get the youngins ready for that kind of stuff. It's always good to let them know. Suki Gakurei is a very wholesome anime. It's actually one that I really want to watch again. It's one of those, and it's only like 13 episodes. It ends beautifully. So nothing crazy in there. None of these beta male freaking main characters either. So that's great. Kaguya-sama Love is War, another really great romance anime. There are some moments of fan service, but it's not as
It's
heavy.
12 and up.
Yeah, it's not as heavy as some other things. Obviously, I think the main person who gets a lot of that fan service is Chika usually, for obvious reasons. But for the most part, it's a very cute anime and has a lot of different like segments to it. And speaking of segments, Tonari no Seki-kun is a very good like anime, especially to get watch in between things, or you can just watch it all in one go, and you'd probably be back like I don't know, almost not even 30 minutes, maybe something like that, because they're only like 7-minute episodes. So it's really a cool thing to watch, just because it exposes you to so much Japanese culture in like a little short amount of time. So you kind of learn different ideas behind it. I still know about that Gold King, bro, that Silver King, the Gold King, whatever the fuck they were called.
Yeah.
And then their Fairy Tale is it's probably the most shonen anime of Shonen Jump animes, meaning it's the most appropriate for a young boy. But once you get older, you're just kind of like, dude, this is Power of Friendship. What the fuck is this? So yeah, it does have some fan service in there. I won't lie to you. And there is some blood, but some other Shonen Jump anime. That's why I didn't say My Hero Academia, just because there are some real messed up moments in there. And then my final one was just be Spirited Away. There are some people that disagree with this pick because of the subject matter that happens like right in the beginning, and there are some disturbing images. And I get that. So if that's something that you're not into, that's totally fine. But I just really like that Studio Ghibli movie in particular because when I watched it as a kid, it really brought a lot of things to light. This fear of abandonment, especially since I had a lot of father issues, and so that's kind of what she goes through in the very beginning of it. So it was really for me, it was very impactful, but there are some disturbing images in it, so it might be something you want to figure out whether or not you want to expose your child to that. So anyway, go ahead,
Yeah,
Michael.
I mean, funnily enough, that brings up some good points. I mentioned like Red Flag before. Even Studio Ghibli, which all their movies are supposed to be family friendly, suffers from sometimes showing things that aren't quite for the family.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna run through mine before my throat dies. We got Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon. Those are really easy. You can dish that up to most kids, but you start losing people when they become teens. We've got DBZ, not Dragon Ball, but Dragon Ball Z, much more appropriate for everybody than Dragon Ball is, only because like the first 50 episodes of Dragon Ball are very steeped in adult humor, like very steeped. Sailor Moon and Cardcaptor Sakura, basic magical girl anime, both very appropriate for all ages. Yeah, that's all I have to say about that. We have Studio Ghibli movies. We have Shaman King, really good for about teenage audiences up to parents. That's something you watch together. Very lacking on swearing and blood, mostly because it has to do with spirits most of the time and spirits fighting each other. Finishing off, we have Your Lie in April. If you want your kids to go through a traumatic experience while lacking a lot of blood and swear words, you have very intense themes that go throughout it with dealing with diseases. And my last couple are Himoto Omaru-Chan, which is about a perfect girl at school who goes home and wants to slack off and be lazy. And I feel like there's a lot of people out there who sympathize with that. Feel like they have to be perfect when they're with everybody, and then they go home, they just turn into a couch potato. And as well with that, we have Barakamon, which is all about a guy who basically goes to a country town to relearn how to I don't quite remember what the art style is called. Like that he paints letters
Like
with
calligraphy?
ink. Yeah, calligraphy. There we go. To relearn how to do calligraphy when he's technically perfect, but everything he paints is boring. So he goes to basically relearn how to connect with his emotions. All of those are really, really good. I would also highly recommend One Piece over Bleach and Naruto. A lot of stuff in One Piece, at least the first like 200 episodes, is very light on themes, on swears, on even like fan service. It's very light on those. As you start moving on through One Piece, he starts throwing that in like left and right. But while Luffy's by himself, and even with Nami and Zoro and Usopp and Sanji, a lot of that is very light on anything that kids would find offensive. More like parents would find offensive, not kids. Johnny finishes it off.
My child can't be a pirate. I won't allow it.
They'll be a pirate of the internet.
I really only have one as far as my just kind of extras list. I don't think it really kind of is on that line too much, but I think Dr. Stone would be a pretty good one. I think it shows a lot of interesting, chemical reactions and aspects of science that are pretty cool and, could get people into different things. There are some instances of violence, some instances of, some fan service, but I think it's super light and you just don't even, that's just really not even the point of the anime. It doesn't show up really at all.
Why is that Snoop Dogg's nickname?
Dr. Stone.
Yeah. Anyways,
I don't know.
Wow. I was like, dude, what? I was like, why is Michael objecting to you? That actually all sounds good. And he was like, what is this? And so anyway, I guess my dog wants to also let you guys know that this has come to the end of the episode. Yeah. So obviously, listen, anime is a very highly contested, like it's a highly contested medium just because there's so many different like types of anime and all that kind of stuff. So I hope that these kind of give you an idea. Also, for all you people showing your kids Promise Neverland, like, what the fuck is wrong with you? I've seen 3 people on
Really?
Reddit showing their freaking kids Promise Neverland, and I don't understand the point.
As
I'm
like
like,
punishment, or
lucky I saw Attack on Titan as something to watch with your mom and dad too.
dude,
And I'm like,
what is going on with these
maybe
people,
punishment
man?
anime is really catching on.
Well,
Yeah.
and I'm a teacher and I work with kids who are like, yeah, my parents just showed me Squid Games. I'm like, what is wrong with you? Get a handle on your
Jesus.
kids.
Yeah, seriously.
Or
And-
get a handle on your parents. I don't know.
And yeah, I think that's the hard part, right? Is finding that balance between the two of how extreme do I want to go with showing my kids certain things, and how light do I want to go? Because I think at some point you're gonna have to like tread that line. But those go all the way to the fucking like line, dude. Like there is, like the first episode of Attack on Titan is fucking brutal, dude.
Dude, I'm showing my kids Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood immediately.
Yeah, dude. I mean, dude, even
Notice
that.
that was not on any of our lists.
Yeah, even that, like compared to Attack on Titan and Promise Neverland is not nearly as tough. But anyway, guys, remember you can check out All Things Casual at the link tree in the description box down below. Also, if you'd like to email us, you can email us at animecasuals with an S, real REAL at gmail.com. But as always, guys, don't forget to keep
It
Casual.